celebration. با درد بساز چون دوای تو منم، با کس منشین که آشنای تو منم. گر کشته شدی مگو که من کشته شدم، شکرانه بده که خونبهای تو منم. It's a really, really nice poem. I think it's by maybe Abu Sa'id Abu al-Khair. It's a great Sufi. He's like Socrates of either Iran or Iraq. Oh, he was Persian. That's right. We are, in fact, the cradle of civilization, aren't we? There are two kinds of celebration, I think. There are those that are temporary. You're single, your life is relatively good, you go out somewhere and you meet someone, and you find joy in the relationship, and you celebrate by ironing your pants and your shirt and saving some money, taking your companion out to have some food, go to great America, come home, have a great time in the bedroom, filled with love, compassion, care, respect. And then, of course, time creeps in, and then you realize that the person who once gave you joy now is suffocating you. And it's no longer a cradle of joy, but a cradle of despair. And that particular celebration, though it's beautiful to have, is short-lived. There is another kind of celebration that you could engage in. And if I was to borrow from some of the great sages of humanity, life's journey is filled with pain, according to Gilgamesh. When you are born like Moses, very soon in life you begin to lose your identity, real identity, and your identity is formed, shaped, molded by Pharaoh. Someone who lives in the city, advertises, and you have a false sense of self. Then you get married, you have children, only to realize none of these things are good for you. And then there's a good amount of pain. The Buddha, just being alive is a painful experience. Moments of joy, sure, but for the most part, there's pain. Muhammad, in all of your life, you're engaged in two battles, Jihad al-Akbar and Jihad al-Asqar. Jihad al-Asqar is you have to fight to make a living. You have to fight to pay rent. You have to fight to keep your companion happy. You have to fight to keep your kids safe. You have to fight to make sure that people don't look at you in a mean-spirited way. You have to fight to remove racism, poverty, hunger. Just Jihad al-Asqar. Once you get done with all that struggle, then Jihad al-Akbar. You look yourself in the mirror and you say, who the hell am I? It never ends. The only thing that you can really celebrate and is really worthy of celebration is pain. You don't escape pain, you embrace it and you celebrate it. And if you understand pain and its function and why it's there, and the fact that there is no escape from it, you're either engaged in little battle, Jihad al-Asqar, or big battle, Jihad al-Akbar. Either fighting with the forces of society, or forces that live inside you simply as being a human being. There is no escape from struggle. And all struggle contains nothing but enormous amounts of pain. Celebrate it. And if you learn how to celebrate pain, you don't ask questions like, should I do therapy? Should I get medicated? Should I do retail therapy? Does my culture need sublimation by watching UFC, MMA, porn? I mean, look at the way this culture, its people get themselves off. This is the 5th month of this year. Let's just say 150 days. There have been about 205 mass shootings. What the hell is that, man? Life gives you no right to celebrate anything. Read the Gospel of Nicodemus, even though it hasn't been canonized. That Jesus asked this guy, I mean, there's this story of a rich young man going to Jesus and says, "Oh, master, good master, how do I get to the kingdom of God?" And of course, Peter knows this well. And JC looks at him and says, "Well, go sell everything you have." Everything? Yeah, everything. And unlike the story you read in the canonical Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, he goes and sells everything and comes back and says, "I've sold everything. How can I now get to the kingdom of God?" No, there was a homeless man. You didn't take care of him. Go take care of him. You can enter the kingdom of God only if you have taken care of your social duties. In Buddhism, you have nirvana and you have paranirvana. Imagine nirvana to be moments of celebration. Paranirvana is you're always celebrating. Like you're always in paradise. You have no right to be in paradise, man. You have duties to your fellow human beings, knowing full well they're in pain. The only celebration that is valuable is one that is related to pain. Ray, at his age, knees broke, back bent, cholesterol, diabetes, blood pressure, all those things. Every single day he goes out there and helps people. He doesn't help the righteous, he helps the sinners. Righteous are those who are far too arrogant. They live in gated communities. They have no issues. They are filled with false assumptions about themselves and life. Sinners, on the other hand, they have tasted pain. They need help. But they don't have the resources to get themselves out of this ditch. So raise there. That's called nirvana. There's a poem by Wordsworth. It's not Wordsworth, it's some other fellow. That really pain is the foundation of life. Something truly worthy of worship. با درد بساز چون دوای تو منم. Have the right kind of pain inside you. Live with it. That pain, when you pay attention, will create its own remedy. با کس منشین که آشنای تو منم. Don't have strangers as your companions. Joy is a stranger. It comes and goes. All the pleasures that you have in your life, they're one-night standers. They're hit and runs. Pain never leaves you. And whenever you have pain, if you're creative, poetry will ooze out of you. Like Ray. Empathy, compassion oozes out of you. Music oozes out of you. You can get your PhD in whatever and go to the classroom and inspire people through words. Write books. Pain. چون کشته شدی مگو که من کشته شدم. Should you fall into loneliness and depression and isolation, do not complain. Pay close attention and you'll see great value in them. What was your question? Yeah, I know.
For some reason, you made me think about a question I've asked myself for a long time: what a hero is. Like, what is a hero?
Okay. We can do this. Or maybe we can save it for Thursday. Can you ask your question on Thursday? I mean, Thomas is leaving. Brandon is leaving. Maybe I should just leave too. Bye, you guys. Thursday? Hold on. Anyone else? Yeah. You need pain, struggle to grow, but only if you have the tools, knowledge of the tools, how they're used, to wrestle with the pains and the struggles. If, for example, a pain comes to you and you can't get yourself out because you lack the tools, and even if you do have the tools, you just don't know how to use them, the truth is that pain, it will eventually lead you to paralysis. You'll get depressed. Let me give you an example. Don't forget your question on Thursday. It's important. I had a colleague many years ago. He was teaching at Sacramento State University. His wife used to make him lunch every day when he went to school. So one morning, as he goes to get his lunch, he comes to realize he forgot to put it in his backpack. So he gets in his car and goes home. He opens the door, and he used to teach Buddhist studies. He goes home and he hears this noise coming from somewhere in the house. It was a very exciting noise. Very erotic noise. And so he walks to where this noise is coming from, and it was the bedroom. And he opens the door, and his wife is engaged with a man. He looks at both of them and says, I'm going to cancel my classes for the rest of the day. You guys finish what you're doing. I'll be in the kitchen, make some food. When you guys come out, we can just sit and have a conversation. What is the function of sex? What is the function of marriage? How does time relate to sex and marriage? What is the function of intimacy? What are the teachings of the Buddha? Who am I? Am I emotions? Am I observation? Am I eternal? Am I temporary? But the ultimate question is, who am I? He knew a few things about human beings and human relationships. And should any one of us witness those things, there are a couple of avenues or paths we can take. We could go crazy. We could divorce. We could shoot the other person. Or we could move into it with understanding. And it doesn't mean that you're going to stay if you understand. But he chose a path that agitates his interior far less than the rest of us. If you have the tools, pain can help you grow. If you don't have the tools, then you're stuck. You know, I think as parents, hopefully you'll have your own kids, maybe. And the only thing you really want to do is first understand what Khalil Gibran had said about kids, that they're like arrows. Parents are like bows. You know, once the arrow leaves the bow, the truth is you have no idea where they're going to fall. You raise the kids, you do the best you can, you have no idea, how it's going to go. It doesn't take very many negative forces out there for Pinocchio to lose his path and become wicked. So the only thing that parents can do is give their kids tools. And you have to give your kids good tools, but before you can give them the proper tools, you have to be able to study life really, really well. Life sucks. Life is tough. What's out there? Sure. Mohammed, anything?
There's a quote from Star Trek that I thought of when you were talking about righteousness for sinners. It's like it goes like, it's easy to be an angel in paradise. Yeah, the idea is that advanced earth is paradise.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
I think the best thing that any of you in this class can do, find something you enjoy and make sure you do it about 10-15 hours a day, because then you don't have to go into the world of Caesar very often and get contaminated, which means that you see yourself less as a human being and more of an artist. And if you live your life as an artist, whether you're Karl Marx or Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Oh, hello. How are you?
My name is Lisa.
Lisa. You walk in so casually, as if you've committed no crime against humanity.
See, against humanity, I feel like not against humanity. But I do have a good reason.
Oh yes, of course.
I was put on a new medication, which
Medication? For what?
I was diagnosed with a lot of different things. So I was put on a new medication that literally made it impossible for me to wake up. I slept through 4 alarms and my mother should give me awake.
And you made it to class. Well, it's good to see you.
Guys, remember?
Let's sing you. Wait. We'll sing you 2 versions. One is the white version. The other is the black version. And then you just sit back, listen to us celebrating your birth, and tell us which version you enjoy most. So let's start with the white version. You guys ready? On 3. 1, 2. Happy birthday to you. Cry anytime you want. Happy birthday to you. That's enough. As you can no doubt tell, it's a song that's usually sang during funeral services. It's slow. It's as if someone has just died. Now, let's sing you the spiced up version. Ready? On 3. 1, 2.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
There you go. And as you can no doubt tell, most people are embarrassed to sing it because that's not who and what they are.
Thank you for my birthday song.
What are you doing to celebrate?
She came to class, man.
Yeah, running late to class. After I go back home and cook, and then my friends are coming over. And we'll see where the day takes us. We may end up doing an escape room. I may watch the Warren Party movies. No.
But why don't you invite Joaquin? Why are you laughing?
I mean, if you want to come, you're more than welcome.
What time are you done with school?
Are you serious?
Yeah. She invited you.
Are you at work? Are you at
Wait, how old are you?
17.
Oh, man. How old are you?
I'm not.
You're under. I'm sorry. Ray?
Only Thomas was here.
Well, have a good time. You know, let me just end the class with what?
Oh, like 7 more minutes.
Well, my stories usually take about 15, 20 minutes. Jesus. You know, I've been teaching for about 30 years, perhaps a little bit more. And my schedule for the past 30 years have been the following. I usually wake up at 5. Whether at home or the office, I write for about 3-4 hours, and I come to class from 9 to 10:15. Then I do my second class from 10:30 to almost 12. At 12, usually I have about 5, 10, 15 students walking with me to the office. We all sit and have food. At 1, I teach class till about 2:30. 2:15. At 2:30, I teach another class till about 4:15. Then I go to my office. I take a nap. Then I have a class from 6 to 8:50. Consider that for a moment. And I don't know what you think about me or my classes. I like myself sometimes, and I like my classes sometimes. I enjoy this particular stage. For almost 30 years, I come to class and I play with ideas for about 10 hours, maybe more. And these are great ideas to be around, great companions to have. And when you live in this kind of an environment, you don't experience yourself as a human being who has basic needs. You're always on the clouds. And once in a while, of course, you have no choice but to come down and be tested by life, only to realize that you're a complete failure, which gives birth to a good amount of humility. So you go to the class and you mix seriousness and humor together, and you create some chaos, and everybody enjoys, the classroom a little bit. And the point I'm trying to make really is the following. If any of you know what you're good at, or if any of you have been inspired to have an inkling idea of what you think you may be good at, pursue it. You're still very, very young. Get yourself in that particular craft, become really good at it, and just be in it about 10, 15 hours a day. And go home and just be an idiot. Remember, when you go home after 10, 15 hours of doing your craft, you can only be an idiot for maybe 2-3 hours. And then you'll pass out. You'll wake up in the morning, and again, you'll be at your craft. So experience yourself more as an artist and less of a human being who lives in the world of Caesar, contaminated by its forces. It's a great life. So, yeah, go ahead.
It was an impulse.
It's okay.
How often do you change your perspective on things in your day-to-day life?
It depends on the roots. In other words, if right now, look, all young people, you can't find stability in any of them. It's impossible. And rightly so, because they're still growing and changing, you know. And it's going to take time for things inside you to find some foundation, to find a grounding. There is going to be no stability to you for a long, long time. And for someone who desires and longs for stability, it's going to be a crushing experience for you. Because you want to remain the same, you want to be ambitious, you want to have the same goals in your life, but you keep changing your paths. And you're going to kind of find yourself very confused, and if you happen to be around the wrong people, they're going to say, oh, you know, you're like a Democrat, flip-flopper. Why don't you just be a Republican? Just say no to everything, you know. You'll get to a place where you have experienced hopefully enough things, and you have reached an equilibrium. That you know where you are, you know who you are, you know what things you like, you know what things you don't like. And there is another aspect to it. Let's just say that you've come to this class, and this class is inspired, and you want to do philosophy. But you like philosophy because of me. You haven't yet found your voice. Let's say I have inspired you enough where you go to San Francisco, you get your bachelor's, then you go to Oxford, you get your master's, then you go to Harvard and you get your PhD. And you still have a good amount of me inside you. But say around the age 35, 40, you realize that all of a sudden your teaching is beginning to change, your ideas are beginning to change, that you're presenting yourself, expressing yourself differently. For the first time in 25, 30 years, your voice comes out, and you're a little shocked at first, but then you like it. And that's where your stability comes from. It has to be your own voice. You could also be a counterfeit and enjoy the stability that lives inside. And there is nothing wrong with it. You know, and I think one of the branches that come out of compassion and empathy is it matters very little who's out there. It matters very little what skin color they have, what their background is. Human life, birth, the moment you're born, you're going to have so many awful, painful struggles in life. You'll have moments of respite, calm, comfort, joy. But 90% of life is just difficult, man, for most of us. And because you know that, you just should take it easy on people. You know, I'm not talking about people like Donald Trump and Jim Jordan, those people who are professional politicians, con artists, but people like us. You know, once you understand that all of life for the most part is difficult for everyone out there, you know, then you act compassionately and kindly. Which means that when you find your own voice in the classroom, should she come there to your class 5 before the class ends, you say, you know what? I don't give a shit what she thinks of me, but I know what it means to be 18 or 20. I know the American culture. She doesn't understand. I'm not going to penalize her for not understanding. I'll give you a C. Only if there's a bag of money outside of my office door. Any other questions or comments? Yeah. Yeah. I think anything that will help you gain more self-knowledge is good. The only problem with outsourcing, in other words, if I am your boyfriend and I have caused a good amount of pain inside you, You can certainly go to the therapist and talk to your therapist about the relationship. What makes it difficult is that you have access to now information you didn't have before, you now have it, but I don't have it. When you come back and talk to me, you have a different toolbox and you have a different set of tools that I don't have. You're going to talk to me, but I won't understand. And even if I did understand, it's far too painful for me, I'm going to deny. And it's going to create a more alienating effect. And not only do you have to carry the burden of whatever it is, you also have to carry my stupidity on your shoulder. The best therapy session you could ever have is, even though it's really difficult, just come to me. I am your boyfriend. I am the cause of your misery. You know, talk to me over and over again. If I'm no good, leave me. Find someone who's worthy of you. And if you happen to be the creator of misery in our relationship, it matters very little who's in your life. Some therapy would do you good. Again, you know, whatever helps you in getting to know your emotions, the way you think about things, your past, and the way you kind of create your own future imaginatively, it's good. The only thing, again, you need to be mindful of is that there are things you understand, but you can't yet apply to life. So two understandings, one that lives in your head, filled with assumptions, the other that's been tested by life and now you understand. That's the one you want to get to. If you never apply what you understand in real life, it'll make you more depressed. Obtain a little knowledge, go out there, put it to test. And that's the mustard seed. That little knowledge will create a humongous tree for you. Lots of branches, lots of fruits, lots of shade. And lots of companions that will sit on the branches and sing for you. When you have a lot of knowledge, you need a lot of tools to bring them to life, and that's too much work. Little knowledge, then apply it. So listen, it's good to see all of you. I'll see you Thursday. Thursday will be our last day. Oh, you guys should have invited them in. We could have harassed them. Okay, you guys, take care. See you.